Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all of you. So today we're going to have a Reaxys training. We should start at 11. It's already 11:10, so we have to start it now. So today's session, Dr. Manda is with us. Okay, and then Dr. Manda will be presenting about the Reaxys. Okay, what is the new thing about the Reaxys? So please, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. So I think I will pass the training to Dr. Manda to start now. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Are you able to hear me? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Bashir, for arranging all and putting all the effort here. So today I will take you through the presentation slides first, and then we will go to the live demo. I learned that this is the first instance we are doing it in the hybrid mode here. As it is first time, I will not provide you with the loads of information, but you can have follow-up trainings as well. But certainly I will touch base upon few features and functions of Reaxys, which might be helpful for you in incorporating those searches either for your education purpose as well as for research purpose. So the slides will provide you with the content of Reaxys. So what is Reaxys all about? If you have experienced that or if you have searched that earlier, Reaxys is a database which actually has a lot of information about chemistry substances or chemical compounds. It has reactions. It has a lot of pharmacological data as well, and I will come back to it at a later stage. The data or the content is excerpted from 16,000 plus periodicals here, and we also accept the data from patents literature as well. So if you see overall the time horizon, Reaxys was renamed way back in 2009, but earlier it was Crossfire or Bellstein Commander, which actually had the data from Gemlin or the Bellstein. But over a period of time, we have kept advancing in the content, the features, and the functions to make that Reaxys more user-friendly and much more accessible to provide the results in a faster way. We also introduced the RMC model, which is now renamed as targets and bioactivities, which certainly will be very useful for the pharmacy discipline. It certainly covers all the sub-disciplines of the pharmacy, be it pharmaceutical chemistry, be it pharmacognosy, be it pharmacology, pharmaceutical analysis. If you are doing a lot of innovative research, we have a lot of patent expansion within Reaxys. Earlier, before 2021, we only had content coming out of 5 patent offices, but now we have expanded that patent offices from 5 to 105 patent offices now. So we have 105 patent offices and 170 ITC classes from which the data is accepted. And till date, now we have crossed more than 38 million patents available within Reaxys. So if you are doing a lot of innovative research, if you want to publish a lot, you will certainly get that information to stay competitive within your research spaces. We also have introduced predictive retrosynthesis module in 2022. This is one of the transformative changing tool for chemists who are working in the synthesis area, and also for the pharmaceutical chemists who are designing new drugs or new compounds for acting against various biological targets. Even for the master students, they actually can get a publication out of it. Every student can get a publication out of it because they can compare a compound which is already known in the literature and the synthesis. They can compare the reported synthesis with the new synthesis as well, and they can execute that experiment in the lab. And I will showcase how it will be helpful in that. This also will help students to learn about synthesis, how retrosynthesis can be planned during their master courses. So it certainly helps in the education purpose as well. Now, this is more about the content. We have content from commercial substances, which actually we have 650 plus suppliers, where if you're searching for a reaction and if you want to execute that experiment in lab, you do not have to go and search various vendors from where you can procure your starting materials or the commercial substances. You can directly go and check in the Reaxys for the information. You also have a lot of substance database. We have 500 million experiment properties, which is again a standout for Reaxys in general. As I said, I will talk more about synthesis planner here. You already have synthesis planner in terms of retrosynthesis, but that is only for the known compounds. You cannot have predictive retrosynthesis there right now because you are not subscribed to it. But I will certainly showcase the advantages of that. We have a lot of chemical reaction database, we have bioactive database, target databases, and this will cater to your pharmacy in much more advanced way than what you are currently subscribed. If you go to the homepage of www.reaxys.com, you will certainly see that updated content, and you see that it is latest updated on 8th May with the contents for substances, reactions, documents, patents, and activities there. So it is one of the largest bioactivity database what we have within Reaxys. You can get PKPD information there for pharmacy. You can get if your compound is druggable enough, how you can compare with Lipinski rule of pi or Weber rule. And I'll come back to that points when I showcase the live demo as well. Reaxys is not about just a general search engine. You actually, if you want to have an API from Reaxys, you can incorporate your current in-house content with Reaxys as well. You can have, if you are working with eLab notebooks there, you can integrate your eLab notebooks within Reaxys. If you have chemical inventory, you can integrate chemical inventory within Reaxys so that multiple labs having multiple chemicals, you do not have to buy again and again, and that is also possible when you purchase the Reaxys API. Now, when or for whom the Reaxys is useful, it starts all the way from conceptual learning or research to the end reporting as well. So end-to-end research capabilities you can have within Reaxys. If you are not a researcher but just want to write review articles, you can certainly export a lot of content of Reaxys, compile them in a data, and just publish your research in terms of review articles. That also, and to highlight a point that when you publish a review article, your citation will go more because that review is cited more as it contains the complete information within that particular review of research. As I said, because of the 38 million patent contents, you will stay up to date with your competition as well if you are working on novel research. If you are working in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, you will certainly like to know if your compound is more druggable. We have PISChem properties, drug likeness captured within the axis in a graphical representation. You will certainly know which Lipinski rule of 5 it is violating a particular compound and what you should do to modulate that to make the compound more drug-like. Synthesis planning, as I said, it's an AI ML based tool, and it helps in providing synthetic routes for either known compounds or new design compounds. We have a lot of medicinal chemistry properties in terms of activities, be it in vitro activity or in vivo efficacies. Even the IR data is reported or a TLC information is reported within Reaxys in terms of the chemical properties. So we have complete product analysis of a compound. If any data particular to a compound is captured in literature space, we do accept that and embed within Reaxys. We do a lot of pharmacological profiling, and hence you can do structure activity relationship if you want to design new compounds for particular biological target. If you see, the content is segregated when you can see in terms of results. So when you search a particular topic, it segregates into reactions, documents, substances, so on and so forth, so that as per the researcher requires, he or she can go and just view the results in the way they want to see the results. We have a lot of content coming out of the NMR, which is again one of the much more useful identical tool for a particular compound in terms of the chemical properties of a compound. We do represent the NMR the way it is represented in the research article or patent article. That means it is represented or depicted in terms of the chemical shifts of a compound. And a student can go and directly capture those or evaluate that, compare that with the reported compound, and he or she certainly can get that information directly within Reaxys. We have put a lot of efforts to actually give a sinologous information in terms of the synonyms. So, for example, if you are searching for paracetamol, it can be a Tylenol, it can be 4-acetaminophenol. Yeah. All those synonyms are actually synced within each other. Now you will only get the similar hits for whatever the synonym you type in your searches as well. As I said, we have improved a lot of coverage in terms of patent, but we also have put efforts and updated our Reaxys portfolio in terms of CAS registry numbers. Chemist certainly wants to search compounds based on the CAS registry numbers. We have spent multi-million dollars in incorporating or allowing the CAS to for our users to search the compound based on the cash register numbers, and hence you can do that since last 2 years. I already spoke about the chemical supply information, and as I said, there are more than 600 chemical suppliers captured within Reaxys, and I will showcase that in the live demo so that you will understand better on how you can use the filter options to shortlist the vendors of your choice. We have the linkage with Scopus. If you are subscribed to Scopus here, you can also find relevant information in Scopus for Reaxys compounds and vice versa. When you have Reaxys, you can actually see the citation profiles of a particular author if you are been to Scopus by just clicking the link. So it's interlinking between or interplay between the Reaxys and Scopus is available right now. As I said, for the patents, we now cover the data, or we now excerpt the data from 105 patent offices and 170 IPC classes. We translate the Asian language patents into English. What is important for information for a patent? You require to know who are the inventors of the patent, what is the abstract, what is the experimental information. We all have that, this and the claims. These are the important points which a researcher wants to know in the patent. For the Asian patent offices, we translate this information in English and provide them in the search results directly, so that the researchers can execute their experiments, understand the competition, and plan their work accordingly. If you see the example of patent, you get the number of compounds captured in the patents, you get claims of the patents, you get experimental procedures directly in the patent. So a patent of say more than 100 pages is difficult to identify what information you are looking for, and it takes a lot of time and effort to read out from the patent and understand the information. But in Reaxys, you can get that information directly in the search results and hence plan your reactions or your research work properly. So for predictive synthesis, we had collaborated with Professor Waller. Again, this is academic collaboration which has turned into commercial module added in Reaxys. He published initially the AI/ML tool development, which was based on the neural network and the Monte Carlo research. We employed that over 15 million single steps reaction available in Reaxys way back in 2015, and now that has been expanded to the newer reactions till 2020 December. The single step reactions, we have auto extracted the rules from those and then applied these neural networks and Monte Carlo research for a particular compound to get into the starting materials which are commercially available to provide the retrosynthesis out. We got awarded for that way back in November 2020 from GHK Life Sciences for this innovative predictive retrosynthesis tool. So when you want to know about synthesis of a particular compound, if it is known, you can compare that with the published route, which are captured in the blue, and I will showcase that in my live demo. And you also have for every step predicted a particular experimental procedures which allows you to actually see that organic functional group transformation to be executed in the lab. You can actually see from various vendors, you can source those starting materials or the commercial compounds directly. You have that card icon captured within the retrosynthesis framework. If you are looking for the target and bioactivities, we have the unique information accepted for those disciplines. Captured within Reaxys and accepted from this particular content. So we provide information on bioactivity data points, unique substance bioactivity. You can do natural products for pharmacognosy. You will understand the compounds and its activity for a particular compound isolated from natural product. You have unique target, biological target information. You have actual enzyme inhibition assays captured within Reaxys to set up those assays in your respective labs also. We have information on specific biological species as well. When you talk about learning or education, Reaxys do support that. We have a lot of YouTube videos, and I will share this link with the respective librarian so that people can go and learn about these videos on how they can develop their chemistry knowledge. We also have generated a space for under Reaxys Academy where students can go and take those courses and get certifications from elsewhere for those Chemistry 101 courses. So I'll share this link after my presentation as well. We have a Reaction Flash app, which can be downloaded either from the App Store or the Google Play Store, which is free of cost. This app has been developed in collaboration with Professor Carrera from ETH Zurich, who is the editor of Journal of American Chemical Society as well. This has 4,000 name reactions and their respective mechanisms and examples which are directly published in the literature article, which are experimental literature there. So students can learn on the go what is a name reaction, what that reaction stands for, what is the mechanism behind that reaction, and actual literature, how it is applied in the real world. So now let's go directly into Reaxys. I will switch gears to the live demo now. So I hope you are able to see the Reaxys page homepage there. Now, if you go to the homepage, as I had captured in my slide, the content is at the bottom half where we have the latest update coming on 8th May. I will urge everybody to log in, create their own login ID password, even though they are able to access Reaxys on the IP. This will allow them to save the searches in the history. So if you go to the history tab there, you can save your searches, whatever you have created. You can create email alerts to your searches as well, so that you do not have to search again and again. You can rename that email alert, whatever you want to name it. You can set the frequency of the email alert you wish, either on a particular month or particular week or particular day of that particular month, or after every update of that concept there. You can set the content you wish to have to receive in that email alert as well. So this will be possible only if you have created your own login ID password under the free access, whatever is available under IP. So I will urge to do that. This will also enable you to set up the user interfaces in terms of your searches as well. So I will go back to that later. So let's go back now. So when you have the Reaxys homepage, you have the two options here to do your searches. One is the text-based search, which works on the natural language programming. So when you type 3 words or 3 letters in a word, you start getting options. So as a researcher, what happens is that when you want to search a particular concept, and suddenly there are 10 different options provided to you in that 3-letter words, you can if you wish, you can learn about the different concepts populated in front of you as well. So this is the natural language program what I was talking about. And when you want to say search a particular Suzuki reaction, say suppose, the search results will distinguish that and understand that as a reaction, which because we have typed that as a reaction, and we provides results in terms of reactions and the data captured within those reactions from the documents as well. It might capture from the patents as well as from the literature articles. Now, if you go to this search results and see about the reaction pattern, on the top, you can toggle between those reactions, where these reactions coming from, which documents, how many substances, that is the products of those reactions, and the biological targets. So you will not have this information at your end for which these compounds are acting as targets, but I will certainly showcase you that information in a different search. Now, if you see here, you have one hit, but there are 10 different conditions captured. So Reaxys has put effort in reducing the duplicity of the reaction and hence tabulated in a one format. What it suggests is that this particular reactions is captured within 10 different literature articles. And that's why we have termed it as one hit and captured in 10 different conditions. You can directly find the experimental procedures within that one, and you do not have to go and read the actual literature article there. If you go to the left-hand tab, which is a filter tab there, and at the bottom, if you go there, there is a you can click on the experimental procedures icon there. If you do that and set limit to, now out of those 3,500 reactions, you will see those reactions for which Reaxys has captured the experimental procedures directly within the Reaxys search result itself. So the user actually can utilize this information and see that he or she do not have to read article, but can execute that experiment in the lab, understanding the procedures directly available in the search result itself. If he or she wants to see that I only want to perform reactions which are higher in the yield, giving me the highest yield possible, you can use the yield filter there and select, say, I want to see reaction results now. Out of those 3,500 reactions, where we have already shortlisted down to 666 reactions, which are providing the literature procedures, experimental procedures, we can now say, I want to see results out of which provides the yield of the reaction greater than 95%, so that I have maximum output of my reaction. You can do that, certainly filter it, and now you will see those reaction conditions which are giving you yields greater than 95% there. There is another way to search for a particular reaction. There is one other function called query builder. So I will just jump then to show you the reaction results through query builder. If you click the tab on the query builder and in the search field, you can say REA, you just type reaction there, reaction data conditions. Now either you can type a name reaction there if you want to learn a reaction, or you can draw a reaction as well. So if I say type Wittig reaction, say, and now I want to see examples of Wittig reactions with greater than 95% yield. So I can say yield numerical set greater than equal to 95%. And I will also want to complete my reaction, say within less than 5 hours time. So let's select time. And I can select less than or equal to 5 hours. And I will search and hit the reaction tab. What we allow is that you can minimize now your reaction based on your requirement, that you want to do the maximum productivity out of the reaction, that means the yield, and in the shorter reaction time span. Now you will get those Wittig reaction examples where the reaction has resulted in less than 5 hours time frame and provided you the yields of the reaction which is greater than 95%. You see here that yield is highlighted and the time is highlighted here. So this is how you can shortlist or use those filters. The query builder feature is such a option available which can do much more complex and advanced searches within reactions. So this is, I've just jumped the gun to show you the query builder option there. But I will show you more information once I again go back to the query builder. But let's go back to the quick search again. So I have showed you a concept or text right now. Now, if you want to search a name of a compound, you can do that directly here also. Either you can say cholesterol, you want to see what cholesterol is all about. You just type a name of a compound and say find. Now, because we have typed a name of a compound, it segregates that into substances. It segregates the information where the information on cholesterol is available out of the documents, which are patents or publications from journals. And where you, because cholesterol you can buy commercially also, you can see where you can source cholesterol from. Now, if you see here, there are 1242 results, but now I will go and search and show you the drawing tool. Now we have 3 options to draw. You can see the ChemDraw options. Right now there is an issue with the ChemDraw within the Reaxys, particularly on Chrome, but you can use that on Mozilla, or if you are Apple user, Mac user, you can do on Safari as well, and you can do on mobile. We have raised this issue with Perkin Elmer to sort out the issue to access ChemDraw on Chrome browser, but you can certainly access that on the other browsers. But the Marvin.js tool is quite advanced in its nature. Now, if you see here, you can, you also can run your searches on your mobile. If you are hooked on the network of your university on Wi-Fi, you do not have to go and sit on a computer and run your structure-based searches. And this is possible only on Reaxys. So you can type a name of a compound. So, or say you want to learn what is cholesterol. So I will just type the cholesterol and hit enter. You can directly get the structure of cholesterol here. Now, that's the reason I said you can do structure-based searches on your mobile. Then you can easily delete, edit a particular structure group from the cholesterol and run your substructure search as well. Now, this is not limited to a name compound. You can do searches or type the name of compound based on IUPAC name as well. So, say 1,5-pentanediol if you want to type. You just type, you get IUPAC name. If you want to type a generic name, say you want to say a drug name, so atorvastatin. You have the, now there is a trade name of that drug, which is Lipitor. So if you want to type Lipitor also, you will get the same. See, you got the same compound again. If you are working in, say, peptides, you want to type an amino acid chain. It's difficult to draw that. You just type the 3 key letters of the amino acid, say histidine, arginine, glycine, alanine, cysteine, and just hit enter. Your amino acid chain is drawn already. So this is so useful to do that. You can copy paste your SMILES feature. If you want to know the structures of a catalyst, say type Jacobson catalyst. You have Jacobson catalyst. You have the catalytic information. So students, it's not about research, it's about learning from the source. It's difficult or hard to find the structures of compounds which are reported in the literature. You can certainly learn through this as well because we have text to structure function within Reaxys. Now I will take few more advanced searches right now, and then we can have a follow-up session with a specific structure drawing tool as well, because I can spend almost 45 minutes to an hour on the structure drawing tool itself. I'll right now show a few features and functions which will help you right now to drive your searches more efficiently. So say for example, you have a toluene. Now you want to only find substitutions on the para position of the toluene. There is a function called smax. You click on this one, you select this and run. Now it will only select, or it will only provide you results which are para substitution substituted at the toluene function. You do not have to worry about ortho or meta substitution on the toluene, and you just hit the search. See here in the search result again, you have all the information segregated here. I will just quickly show you commercial substances before going into the results as well, where you can source the chemical. So now if you see here, there are multiple filter options available where you can choose your preferred geological location. So if you want to filter or source supplier vendors of your preferred choices, you can do that. What you can do is that you can save your preferences. I will go after this search. I will show you how you can save your preferred supplier list, which will pop up in the supplier preferences as well. Now, if you want to source chemical from Asia as a region, you can select Asia and limit to, it will only show vendors which are in Asia sourcing it. This will allow you to supply those chemicals at your desk faster. You also have multiple options available based on the price, purity, stock availability, shipping time. Shipping time means within 1 week it is available within your region or not. So all these options are available from the suppliers. And I'm not going into details, but it is not much more important. So before going into the other results, I will just show you where you can set your preferred vendors as well. So if you go to your profile, if you have created your profile one, you can just go to the profile and there is a preferences option here. So if you go to the preferences tab, you can select your preferred suppliers, you can edit them. Say I want supplier from multiple options. I select those and I save to the list. It will always show you a separate option as a preferred suppliers where you want to source your raw materials always from. So this is again only possible if you create your own login ID password. Now let's get back to the results section. Preview section. And I will just click on those substances because now we have asked Reaxys to search only the para substituted on the toluene. And if you want to see all the compounds together, you can go to the grid here, click on the grid, and you will see all those substitutions. You see it's a toluene and it is only para substituted. It has not picked up any ortho or meta substitutions on the toluene. So this is how you can only run a specific searches. You have always see options of every raw material searches. You just go and hover your mouse over the cart icon. You will see there are 79 suppliers and the best price available is $3 per gram and maximum package size is 10 kilo as well. And it can be reaching up to you within 5 working days. So I will just show you now how you can omit. We have now searched the para substitution, but if you want to black that para substitution, you can do that also. It's just giving hard time for me. Yeah. So again, we go to the edit structure. We remove that para substitution request, and now we can block that para substitution. There is a S-lock feature here. You click on this one, click here, and now ask Reaxys to search. What it will do is that it will have this 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5, 6 positions of the toluene, but not the 4, which is the para substitutions. And it will provide you the results in those directions. I will just remove these options to reduce the search results. So you will not find anything in para. and I have not done a substructure search. So I should have done that substructure search. So I'll go back here, edit. Now, because there are n number of results coming up there, it's taking a lot of time. You can do this at your end. You have already have access. I will just show you another features. We'll just cancel the search to save time. Let's do a new search. So I have informed you about how you can do the substitutions or block a substitution. Now, let's take the same example of toilet. And now, if you want to draw a specific functionalities or groups within that, you have this single bond option there. There is a down arrow there. You click on this one, and there is this hexagon with a bond in between, which is positional variation bond. If you click on hover the mouse, it will inform you about what this is all about. This is called position variation bond. You click on this, you can hold the left mouse button, and then you can pull it and do like this. So it will be a, now it is 3, 4, 5 substitution. You can claim it as R, right? And now you can have multiple functions on the R. You see this periodic table link here, tag, you just click on this one. You can select atom in the list, and you can have multiple elements chosen, which can be your R also. So when you do this, this will be functional groups coming out of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and chlorine only. And you will not have any other search results coming out of it. I'll just show you that. So if you see here, whatever the functional groups you have selected, same way, you can again go back to the periodic table and say atom not in the list, and say carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine. So now, if you click on this again, it will show, it will exclude this functional groups from these elements coming out of it. Right. Now I will show you another feature where you can draw the functional group as well. Now, if you see here, there is a smart R function here. So if you click on this, or if you want to have multiple functions here, say multiple substitutions, example, and you say R, 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 you can draw now functional groups here. There are generic reaction generic groups as well. So you click on this R. So if you see here, there is a G star which says any group with a ring closure. GH star, which is any group with a ring closure of hydrogen. If you say acyclic or alicyclic, this one. So there is heteroatoms. You select this. Say you select X. You select cyclic. You select X is a halogen. Now you can draw functional groups also. So if you want to say draw methoxy, you want to draw a secondary alcohol, and then you select this R option here, put it here. So now this will be your all substitution at R. Now you can either select this R group attachment from here, or right click when it is this R is highlighted. You right click on that particular here function and say R group attachment. This is your methoxy group. You right click on this, say R group attachment. Either you do this way, or you select this and put like this. Either way can be done. Now with this R selected, you can right click here and click on R logic. Once you do that, you can set occurrence that do you want to repeat a particular functional group 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times. So if you say occurrence 2 times, you will have 1 or 2 substitutions possible. You can select explicit hydrogen as well. And this will help you in your Marcus based searches for your checking your compound novelty from all the patent options. So you can do this type of searches as well. Now, if you want to learn about the abbreviated functional groups, for you, suppose say drawing a nitro group is difficult. You click on this brackets abbreviated group space, click on this. Say you want to type nitro, so you just type N, and you will see that from N, whatever the functional groups are available as a short forms, everything is captured here. Right? So this also helps in learning. So you go to NO2, click on this. Now you want to see what is the structure of this abbreviated, you can just click on the expand. Okay. Now the purple circle is the one to actually link that particular to the particular bond. You click on this and you have a nitro. So in that way, you can have multiple functionalities drawn through the abbreviated. If you want to see what is a FMOC group, say suppose you just see FMOC, expand, you will see what that FMOC stands for, right? And then you can run these searches. Now para substitute nitro 3, 4, 5 substitute nitrobenzene, and you have these all options selected. See here, you have 2 substitutions patterns coming up there. You can go to the grid because we have set occurrence for 2. You have two coming up there. If you set occurrence for 1, it will not get repeated. You have only single substitution coming up there. If you set 3, you will have at a time all the 3 substituted positions there. Now let's go to a new search. Now say you want to draw a radical. Say you want to draw isotope of carbon, which is carbon 13. Say you right click on this and say atom properties. Once you go to the atom properties, you have this basic features, which is isotope. There is a lock on this one isotope. You click on this and type 13. Now you have the labeled as isotope 13. Same way you go, you want to have a label as a hydrogen, deuterium. You can just click here and put hydrogen and right click in there, atom properties, and say isotope 2. You want to draw a radical. You just right click there, go to atom properties. You see a radical here. You can select the charge of your radical. You have this radical there. You want to draw a carbene. You right click on the atom properties, go to this advanced, and you see the total hydrogens there. You put it at 0, and it will show you as a carbene there when you do those searches. If you want to set your bonds to any bond, right click on here, bond properties. You see here type double bond, like that you go to any bond. Once you do that, it can have a single bond, double bond, triple bond. All those options are available here. So these are few things which you can actually utilize in your searches to make it much more refined searches. Now I'll show you a couple of advanced searches as well. Say now you want to have a cycle in this sulfonyl group. You only want to make a ring at this position but not at the sulfur position. So you can set up your bond orders of the sulfurs. What you can do is that you can right click and sulfur exists in +4 state as well as +6 state. So you can go to the atom properties. You have the bond order there. You say 4. So that you can now, it will never form a cycle here. It will only can have a cycle here if you want to do that. Now, if you want to have this bond in the ring, you right click on the bond properties. You have this type topology. You can select in the ring. Same way on this bond also in a ring. So now it will certainly form a ring, and you can say multiple functionalities. Now you want to include a ring there, a single ring, double ring. You can go to the more options there. You see ring closures. You can say 1 ring closure, so it will only have 1 ring closure and not 2. And if you see here, all have single ring closures and not at the sulfur, but only at the ring there. So this is how you can actually drive your searches there. Now say you want to have 2 or 3 functional groups in a particular compound of your interest. So say you want a Bob group. You want a nitro group in your compound, in the same compound. And you want a benzene ring in your compound. And also you want a fluorine, say, in your. Now, you go to these more options here and see, keep fragments together. Once you do that and make your searches, you will have all these functional groups coming in a particular compound. I will remove that HF there. So it doesn't have. Oh, I should have drawn the substrate. Yes. So let's do again. Fluorine. Yeah. So we selected the fluorine, we selected the phenyl group, we selected the nitro group, and we selected the Bob. And you see here, we have a compound where all these 4 functional groups are available in a single compound. And this is what you can do this via these searches. Similarly, now you want to deprotect a particular functional group from the other group, you can do that way. So let's say you have a Bob group. I mean, you want to do a deprotection. So nitrogen. Right? And you also have aliphatic Bob group. And you don't want to deprotect the aliphatic block, but you only want to deprotect the aromatic block, NH, right? So how you can do is that there is a function called atom mapping. If you see here, protect no change. You go at the bottom and you see here atom mapping. Now what you can do, click on the hold on left mouse button and pull that to another nitrogen. So now it will link this atom map. Similarly, you again go to the nitrogen of the aliphatic functionality, hold it and pull it to the other one. Once you do that, now you will know that you want to have only the deprotection of the box selectively of the aromatic aniline, not on the aliphatic amine. What you can do, you just keep fragments together so that you know that in the same compound, both the functionalities are there, and then search that reaction as a substructure search. And yeah, it's taking time, so I will just jump to another one to show more. But yeah, in this way you can have those selective reproduction one over the other as well. Okay. So now I will cancel this search. I will just show you a few functionalities in Query Builder and how you can utilize it. Let's go to, say you want to do impurity profiling in a compound. So you have a compound and you are aware of your molecular weight of your compound. What you can do, you can click on this molecular weight twice. One you can set less than or equal to, other you can say greater than or equal to, and you know a particular molecular range. So I will say type 500.100 and say greater than 500.001. So it is very narrow molecular range, and you from the HRMS it is the 3 decimal points. If you have HRMS here, you will come to know, okay, I want to now find out what are the possible compounds in this narrow molecular range reported in the literature. You can hit this substances button. If you see here, now your molecular weight is highlighted here directly, and you have this structure. Now from here, you say have one more property, and you want to narrow down your search results with what can be a possible structure of those nanomolecules. You can go to the query builder, add say melting point. Say melting point. Click on the melting point here. Show fields, say less than or equal to say 300 degrees centigrade. And now you can narrow down your still substances based on a property. You can keep adding more and more properties if you have more data to narrow down what can be your possible impurity coming out of your reaction based on the molecular weight search. This is also helpful in the pharmaceutical analysis, not just in the chemistry as well, and impurity profiling of your compounds. So you now see here, you have molecular weight range and you have hit data because we have created one more factor, which is a melting point there. You see here 121 degrees centigrade. So we have set factor as a 300 degrees. Now say you know that you have halogen in your compound. Say, so what you can do is that you go to the molecular formula and say you know that there is a bromine in your compound or it contains a bromine. Either you can do here or you would have gone to the click on the periodic table and add element out of it. And say contains, there are multiple options, and in the advanced feature training I will showcase more options on how you can run these Boolean operators as well. And say let's see if we can find a compound which is having 500 in that molecular range, but it also has an element bromine in it. Because the mass of, if you have halogen in your compound, and if you see the mass, you will have a particular pattern seen in your mass, MS. And hence you know that you have halogen in your compound. So you see here now, we have all the compounds with a bromine. This is a bromine. This is a bromine here. So in that nanomolecular range, and you can find it also from the formula. See here, the bromine is there, linear structure formula. This is how you can actually narrow down your filter. Before going to another search, I will just touch base upon the pharmaceutical properties as well, because I have this compound here. So when you want to see, or let's do a search for that as well directly. Now you want to understand, say, natural products, isolation from natural products, and you are say working on anti-cancer properties of a compound. You can say anti-cancer. And I will put star because it can be anti-cancer activity, anti-cancer property, or anything above that. And now you want to find compounds which are isolated from natural products having properties or activity as anti-cancer agents. Now to narrow down, still you can narrow down your searches based on molecular formula or molecular weight. And this time I will use molecular formula to add one more advanced feature or complex search. So let's see molecular formula. What I will do is that C30 and star. What it shows that carbon 30 and it can have other elements, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen element as well. And now search substances. So what it will do is that it will find compounds available in literature which are isolated from natural products having carbon 30 or more with anti-cancer property. Right? If you see here the targets, I'll just switch gears to the targets there. So people working in biochemistry area or biotechnology area also can get advantage out of Reaxys, and I will showcase that in the query reader also. So you see here, this is the protein. This is the most active compound against that particular protein, and this is the enzyme inhibition assay or the protein binding assay. If it is reported there, no quantitative value reported. So let's see, here you go. You have the bioacid. So you can learn about the compound, its target activity profile, and so on and so forth. Now say you are looking for a particular species only. So you want to understand compound isolated from say garlic. So you can even type that as well. Substances, and you will now see compound isolated from garlic only and its properties. You see isolated from natural source, garlic highlighted, and its literature reference, right? If you see here the bioactivity point, I was mentioning about Lipinski rule of 5 and Weber rules. You go to the direct likeness. There is the blue triangle belongs to the properties Lipinski rule of 5, which are drug likeness, hydrogen bond acceptor, hydrogen bond donor, C log piece, rotatable bonds. Polar surface area is the Weber rule, and your compound line is the orange line. If your compound is violating the Lipinski rule of 5, the orange line will come out of that particular property, and you will understand, if you are a pharmacy student, that which property of Lipinski rule of 5 you should modulate in order to make the compound more drug-like. Similarly, you want to now have the activity profile of this particular compound. Say, let's take this tocopherol. You see here, you have in vitro efficacy data. Again, this information is right now not available with you in your modules, but this is quite useful if you want to use the information in terms of education and research for pharmacy students as well. So you have in vitro activity, you have the actual data points, you have the effect, you have the parameter on which it has studied, and we have converted that actual data points into a logarithmic scale, which is called px value. Why we have done that? Because activity gets reported in micromolar, millimolar, PIC50s, various isoforms of activities are being reported. So to compare head to head, it becomes more easier when you have common functionality, which is the px value. Higher the px number, more the compound is active. Now I was mentioning you about creating your user profile. This also helps you in setting up the results you want to see in your search results as well. You can go to this show height columns here, and you as a user can set what information you want to see in the search result directly. So you want to add a dose, you want to add a metabolite option or action on a target. You can select dose or a target information, you select apply, and that information, now see the dose information has been added. So here the dose was 500 micromolar. If you see here, it is 0.5 microgram, and that's why the px value is important, because the dose is different, the data reporting is different. It is see picomolar there. This is picomolar per gram per ml, microgram per ml. So various isoforms of activities are reported, but the px number is consistent here. You can also shortlist or filter based on the properties of Lipinski rule of 5 also, and narrow down your search options. This was in vitro efficacy. Similarly, if you want to know a compound exposure in the body, is it acting on the biological target in vivo in the body? You have the animal model data. So you have the actual, again, the experimental model. You have the species on which the data is reported. You have the concentration parameters and so on and so forth. Now you want to know the pharmacokinetic properties, which are Cmax, AUC, Tmax. You will know what concentration, maximum concentration is active, the time at which it is active, and also the area under the curve, which will give you the exposure of the compound, which will decide your dose projections. So you have the dose, you have the biological species, and your content here, right? So you have all this information coming up there. Similarly, as a chemist, you get all those information on melting point, boiling point, chromatographic data, even HPLC data, all those informations are available. Spectral data, everything is available in front of that particular compound for you to see there. Now, let's do that search again. Instead of the garlic, I will just remove that and keep star, and I will add, say, you want to see compounds isolated from natural products against COVID-19 or coronavirus. See, there are so many compounds, we can have used more filters also. And then you can go to the targets as well. Okay, let's take that example of garlic only because it's taking time to showcase the results. I just want to show you how you can do a structure activity relationship. So I will just go to the history. Already we have run that garlic search there. So let's take this less substances. Okay. I just want to show you. Let's say chromium now. Setting time. So before running the search, I just want to take you to the various forms available for you to run the searches. Now you don't have this target and bioactivity data here, but what options you have available within the target and bioactivity. If you go to the target and bioactivity and click down, you can search based on the target name, substance effect, pH value. I told you that it is a logarithmic scale of the actual data points. You can search based on the substance route of administration, which is pharmacokinetic profiling. You have substance dosing regimen, you have substance dose, bioassay categories, subcategories. So developing the assays also is one important factor for biochemists as well. You have biological species, diseases, you have all those various parameters. Now, as a pharmacokinetic or a metabolic profile you want to search, you can go to these forms. Network connection is a little bit slow. Connection, yeah, it's slowed down. Mhm. Okay, I will show you the how you can find information on compounds published by yourself in various literature articles. Say I will search based on authors and inventors now. You just type author or inventor, AUT. You will find this author inventor. You go to this name as content. You put your last name first and your first name, and then find document. So you will now see how many publications or patents from a particular author has been known there. It was good earlier, now it is. It's another search. So I was talking about patent translation of Asian patents in English languages. You can say patent country code. You can say Chinese patent CN and pick the documents. What I will do, I will put year. Is logged out. Okay. I hope you can run this. It's a beetroot. Yeah. So there are 7 substances only. So I will run another. So this is from beetroot. Let's take an example. Remove this. So now from we have this 147 substances and we have this substance acting against 1977 targets, biological targets. So what you can do, you can plot the graph X versus X and Y substances where you can have a targets and substances. You can see structure drawing and apply. So you can actually do the structure activity relationship from this. You have compound isolated from garlic. There are 147 compounds isolated from garlic and they are acting against which biological targets? They are all plotted. Now you are working on a specific target of your interest. You know that you are working on this target. Either you can, and you want to know, you can sort that particular by activity, and this all compounds will get rearranged. And you have this particular compound on that particular target. The first compound is the most active compound on that particular target. Now you want to make this compound or know all the details of this particular compound. So go to substance details. You have isolation data because we selected through isolation, so it is from the, it should be from garlic. It is highlighted here. You want to now make this compound. So I will just show you retrosynthesis quickly as well. So you click on this flask icon. You have this create retrosynthesis plan. Right now you only can do fine preparations because you don't have this module. You can set various parameters. I'm not going into details right now. We can have that at a follow-up session. You create plans. And you can compare. See, published routes will immediately come there. You can compare the published versus predicted. That means that the same compound you can synthesize in a different way and have a publication out of it, because it will show you for every step a route. Before it comes, I will just show you this example of predictions. Let's take this example. We have 1 published and 18 predictions. Let's go to a 3-step synthesis here. When you click that, you have all those predicted routes in front of you. You have this one published route, and you have, I have done that modifications in the route. That's why they are customized route. So as a user, you can customize your synthesis route. You feel that this compound is too costly for you to actually procure that, and you want to see how you can make this compound as well. So rather than doing a separate search, you can directly go here, plus icon. You can add a step backwards and customize your synthesis route so that your starting material is cheaper, which you can procure it and actually go and make that in the lab. So if there is no published route, you can add that as a predicted step to that route. Just to slowness of the connection, I will just skip this. I'll just show you what options are available here. Now, if you see here, for every step, you have a synthesis 25 options for this functional group transformation. So from here to here, you can have this chlorine acting on this alkylation of the amine there. So if you go show conditions here, you will have that on the right hand side. Or you can click step 1, step 2, step 3. You have this experimental procedures where you see the chlorine alkylating the amine there. So like that, there are 25 options for every steps given there. You can choose what conditions there. You can export this. You can copy this route directly into ChemDraw. So when you execute the experiment, you do not have to redraw your screen. You can actually take that scheme and directly publish in the article as well. You can export as a PDF the whole scheme as well. You can rename that document based on whatever you need and export it as well. Okay. Let's see, I have a complex molecule as well here. If you see here, there are multiple. So as a user, I will see all my synthesis options here. I can rename the synthesis options, say test. I can rename those projects. I think this internet is again a challenge. Still running in the back. So retrosynthesis, as a retrosynthesis, I can have multiple options again. I want to say have a synthesis of atorvastatin as well. So, similarly, I can go there. Synthesize the molecule. I can set up the features in the synthesis as well what I want. Say go to the edit feature. I can choose the cheapest starting material for this also. So let's say select this only and deselect all the options. So less than $200 per gram. I can set how many routes at a time it can show me in the full routes. I can select, suppose it shows me 10 different routes. Only in this out of 10 routes, 3 routes, the starting material or the reactions, particular reaction intermediate step will be repeated. If I select one, then there will be no repetition either in the raw material or in the steps as well, right? And the default is 3. Default time is standard, which is 10 minutes, and extended is 30 minutes. So if you don't find any synthetic routes for a particular molecule within 10 minutes, you can go and run again and set as a extended time. And you hit the synthesis button, so you will have the synthesis of a statin there. Because it's a chiral molecule and it was received there, it asked me for the known synthesis to check it out. Now it will show you the published synthetic route also, and then the predictions will come in 10 minutes time. Okay, let's go back to the query builder I was showing you in terms of the properties, the forms, the Reaxys bioactive form. Now you are working on pharmacy and you want to know the biology of a particular compound. So let's say you are looking for, you have a pyrazole in your structure. Let's say pyrazole. And you want to know the bioavailability of pyrazoles. You can fill, okay, I remove this. Already there is pre-designed form, so I will add pyrazole here. You want to learn what kind of bio availability of pyrazoles is available. So you see route of administration. So you see administered dose, drug administration routes. You can select topical, parental, internal, or any unclassified. So you can select those. I will just select this. You can add, say, you want to learn in humans or any particular species, you can add that. Fill whatever. And if you want to specify a particular biology, it is %F always. If you want to add that, you can do that, or just search substances with this biological profile. You can learn out of it as well. Then you go to the query builder. Similarly, you can have pre-designed forms to see you have cathode to permeability in your compound, you have active transport, you have blood-brain penetration, you have volume of distribution, Cmax, when all those options are available in terms of the pharmacy, if they want to know information on those. Herd inhibition, these are the potassium ion channels which actually, if they get inhibited, they create heart attack. So you want to know the herd inhibition. You want to know CYP inhibition, cytochrome P450, which are available in the liver. CYP3A4, they are 70% available in the human liver. So all these informations are available for you to search and learn within the field, right? I was talking about the authors and patents. Let's see if we can do that search. Or the the Asian patent offices, patent country code, ACN documents. I hope, yeah. So now there are so many Chinese patent. I had told you in my presentation that the claims, the abstract, the experimental information from Asian patent offices are translated in English and available directly in the search. So if you go to the claims now, you see it is in English. It is not in Chinese. So we have translated that for you in those patents. Let's see if any chemistry information is available, where we have structures and compounds information there. But anyhow, you can find it out that information what I claim is already available in translated form. Now you want to search particular author and he want to utilize his published compounds for his chem informatics session or a bioinformatics session. One can do that also. So very builder showing you the author inventor thing. This will be particularly useful for the pharmacist again. You want to search yourself in that one. So from patent C, you have the substances, you have the experimental information directly from this one. So reactions, whatever how many reactions we have done in the patent, everything is captured there. You do not have to go and read the patents. It is directly available within the patent search results itself. Similarly, you have the substances reported in that patent. I can export all these compounds available in my patent or the articles. And there are multiple export options available. You see here, there is SD mol file. So if you are bioinformatics or chem informatics, you are doing it, you can export the compounds in SD mol files, whatever the searches you have done, and run those informations in your modeling sessions as well. So this is also possible for people working in these areas. You can select the patents, publication years, document type based on your need. Again, you have this information coming up there. You have publication year, shortlist upon that. All those options are available within this tool. I think let's take the questions. Already we are more than an hour. It's loads of information available. If any questions are there, I will like to address that first. And if there are any specific searches you want to run or learn from here, I want to address those first. Because I have provided so much information, it is difficult for you to digest in a go. So anything specific I need to cover. You can unmute yourself, you can ask. Was this information useful? Or should we have a follow-up session later on? Because already there is a lot of time I have been talking monotonously. Please suggest.
Hey guys, you have any question? You can ask Dr. Mandan. Question?
So basic thing is that please create your own login ID passwords. That is again I'm letting you know, so that you can actually export searches. You can export 5,000 compounds or 5,000 documents in a go. That is only possible if you create your login ID passwords. You can save your searches if you create your login ID passwords. You can set your user interface if you create your login ID passwords. So even though you have access under IP, please create your own login ID passwords to utilize this information for your own benefit.
Doctor,
Yes,
just
madam.
now you mentioned about the module that we it's not
Don't have.
included in our subscription, right?
Yes.
So what is it actually the part which is not included in that?
So you don't have the bioactivities information. So let's see. I will show you. Say example of the statin only, right? Let's see. So now this is a biologically active drug, right? You don't have the information on the bioactivities, particularly regarding the activity in cell lines, which is in vitro efficacy. You will not see this information there. You will not see information on metabolism, how the drug is getting metabolized, in which way it is getting metabolized, what are the cell lines it is getting metabolized. You don't see the pharmacokinetic profiling of the compound, which is Cmax, AUC, Tmax. So when the compound is dosed in animal, how the compound behaves in animal comes out of it. All that profiling is not available for you. You don't have the safety toxicity profile. So all this modules will be really useful for the people working in medicinal chemistry area or the pharmacy discipline. Same way, if you are working in pharmacognosy, I showed you the isolation of natural products information. Again, the activity part will not be there. You will only see the chemistry property part, but not activity part. Then I showed you the retrosynthesis module. You only will have the published route coming up there, but there will be no predictions. So if you subscribe to the upgraded modules, these two modules together, you can actually have publications. People working in chemistry synthesis, they can actually get publications very faster because already the predictions are there. You know what steps I am having differently to publish my research article easily. So this module will certainly help you to improve your productivity and also the impact of your research as well.
Take note on that.
Sure.
Because the other reference is the academic staff from the faculty. So
Okay.
they may suggest.
Sure. And if you want to experience this, what we can do is that whenever we have the next presentation scheduled for a departmental level, as Bashir sir informed me, we can open a trial access for 15 days for this module, so that when I showcase that demo, people can go and experience that, and then you can make an informed decision that how useful it will be for your university to get it upgraded.
Yeah, basically
As per my understanding and as a research experience, I can certainly suggest you as a researcher that it will certainly be a very positive impact on the students.
Yeah.
Not in just terms of the research, but terms of the learning as well.
Yeah. But if you can get directly the feedback from those who are
Exactly right.
yeah,
Exactly
we are
right.
more than happy to
Absolutely.
help them.
So it will be easier for you to make those
Yeah.
decisions.
But of course, it is also need to be related to the cost as well.
So it will not be very high cost.
Yeah.
So it will be, say, whatever you have subscribed, maybe 30% only or 25% of that total cost you have to add on to it.
Or add on.
That's it. It will be not again the same. We will make sure that you do not have to pay the whole amount.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you are paying, so Raymond might be knowing that.
Maybe you can simply absorb into.
We will see that. That's later part, but
yeah,
the utility
that we are subscribing for a few years, so maybe.
we will see how best we can help you or support you in that regard. But as a researcher, I can assure you that it will be certainly impactful for the university in terms of learning and creating the research impact in terms of quality publications.
I think there is a question from online. Bashir,
Where can you see that?
Maybe Bashir can.
Okay.
Ada Bashir? Ada soalan ni? Ada one. Macam ada soalan tadi kat chat ni.
Okay, there's one question.
Okay. Where can you see that? Q&A? Chat. Okay, chat.
Yeah, that one. Okay, you can scroll down.
Hold on.
Okay, that one.
Okay.
Reaction scheme, one example would do. Reaction schemes, okay.
Informasi saja, chemistry. Chemistry, informasi. 10 years ago, kita ada
I'm just show you.
ada
Just go here.
abstract atau chemical.
So this is a reaction scheme. Either you can draw this way or you can keep it open. What you want to do this as a starting material, or you put this here. How you how if you put on the right hand side this one, it will be treated as a product automatically on the arrow. So how you want to make that particular compound. Now you also want to say you want to use as a metallic. So I just show you how reaction scheme will work. So go to the periodic table. Now you want to see reactions where you want to see iron as a catalyst there. And see reactions where iron is utilized as a catalyst. And then as a education use case here, you also can learn, if you go to the reaction classes here and view more, you will learn, say you want to see iron as a catalyst with CC bond forming reaction. You have so many CC bond forming reactions there. So it not only helps you to find the reactions, but also helps you to understand the classes of reactions as well. I hope I have answered your question.
Totally. Dr. Mandan, I'll ask you a question.
Thank you. So if no more questions, I think we should have a follow-up session because too much information in a go is also difficult to digest.
Yes.
I hope the session was useful and the users who have attended, might take a note of whatever I have told, whatever they can grasp and apply in their searches. It will be great if you can provide the feedback of the session as well. So if there are no more questions, can we close? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Please, Abbas.
So I'm asking one more round.
Yeah.
Any questions? Dr. Mandan, any question? Okay, no question, eh? Okay, thank you, Dr. Mandan, for the wonderful explanation about the Reaxys. I think it's a wonderful presentation. And then we can repeat again for the next event. So here, any question? Librarian, got any question?
Question.
No question.
But Dr. Lee ni kan our ni library license for pharmacy.
Oh, pharmacy?
Yeah.
Pharmacy.
Dr. Lee is online.
Okay.
He also the one who in charge for library as well.
Oh,
for the
okay,
school
okay.
of pharmacy.
Dr. Lee, maybe later on we can do a session in your school.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
want to also have an academic talk, like how drugs are discovered in industry, I can take you through that as well.
Yeah.
A special session.
I think Mr. Bashir will communicate further with Dr. Lee lah.
Sure.
How we can engage
Sure,
for
no issue.
the next program.
Sure. Okay,
That will be good. He is saying,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had experience in drug discovery research with Bristol Myers Squibb, so I will be able to do that.
Okay. So thank you for Dr. Mada and team. So that's all. So we close the session.
Yeah.
Thank
you all for
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Just close it and end meeting for all.